I use this simple faceless Loom video to close a $4,000 per month client on Upwork. So in this video, I'm going to show you the exact framework on how to make these Loom videos. And I'm even going to show you a few examples so you can just pick the one that suits you best. This is the exact system that I use to get to $10,000 per month in 47 days after taking 3 years off from Upwork. And I currently use this exact same system for all of my students, and it's working really good even in 2025. This works, and best of all, it's super easy and super simple. So let's get straight into it. Okay guys, so at this point, I've literally sent thousands of proposals, and I've probably sent over 1,000 Loom video proposals. And there's kind of only 2 main types of Looms that you need to worry about. But before we get into that, what actually is a Loom and how does it work? So a Loom video is basically just a screen recording that you're sending to the client. There's many different ways to do this. You can use different applications, but loom.com, which is the website, is the easiest to do it. In the past, you had to take the video and then make a link with it and then transcribe it and connect the audio in the video. But now you can just click one button, record the video, and it's already done there as a shareable link. So it's really, really good. There are other sites for it, but Loom is the best ultimately. The reason this works really well is because it's hyper personalized. So when the client or the potential client sees this job application, they know, oh, this person's actually taken the time out of their day to give me something personalized, which is completely different to what 99% of people on Upwork actually do. For example, most people send copy-paste messages and no personalization when they're applying to jobs on Upwork. And because of this, it can allow us to kind of break through the noise and show a lot of authenticity and personalization ultimately. Okay, so now we know what it is and why it's important, but let me show you the 2 main types of proposals, because there really only is 2 core types of proposals in these Loom videos that you can send. So as I've mentioned, there are 2 different types of Looms that you can send on Upwork. And it's actually not about the Loom as much as it is the type of job that you're applying to. And what I mean by this is there's 2 types. There's either jobs that have context and there's jobs that don't have context. Let me say that again. There's jobs that have context and jobs that don't have context. Now, instead of me explaining all of the intricacies of what makes a job have context and what makes a job doesn't have context, I'm going to break it into kind of an easy 4-step criteria that you can follow. So for it to be a job that has context, it has to have one of these 4 things. Number 1, it needs to either have the name of the person in the job description. Okay, so the actual person that's making the job, their name needs to be in it. The second one is the name of the business. So if I can find the name of the business and I can look it up on Google, that will classify as a job that has context ultimately. The third would be, and most importantly, ultimately, ones where it has links in the job post. So things like social media links, website links, and so on. And then the fourth is just anything else that gives it any sort of context as to what the business is, who they are, and what their business is, right? Because once we know this, we're going to basically do the Loom slightly differently, and I'll get into that in a second. And an important note, you might be thinking, well, context, maybe that means how long it is. The length of the job post is irrelevant, right? Most people are using ChatGPT nowadays to just make a AI-generated long job description. So a lot of the time, it doesn't really matter. So don't look at the length of the job post as a factor in regards to whether or not it has context. It needs to hit those 4 things that we've just discussed. Mainly links in the description is the most important one for it to be a job that has context. And let me get into it a little bit more as to why that's important. And just so you know, 80% of the jobs that you apply to are going to be ones that don't have context, okay? So very simply, if there is links in the description of the job post to their social media, their website, or names of the business or whatever that we can find outside of Upwork, then that is a job that has context. But 80% of them won't be like this. But these are typically the best ones, but we'll get into that in a second. So now we know the difference between the 2. We know that the ones that have context are the ones with links, context, names of the business and so on. They're the ones that have context. And the ones that don't have them are the ones that don't have context, right? So we know the differences. Now let's talk about how to apply to each type. So firstly, for the ones that don't have context, since that's going to be the majority of the ones that you apply to, we're going to do something that's very, very simple. So firstly, for the jobs that don't have context, since that's like the 80% of the ones that you're going to be sending, the script of the video is going to be you on camera saying something like this. Hey, hope you're doing well. there's not enough context in this job post for me to give you a full audit, which I really want to do. I really want to show you how I can help you with your project. So if you could send me your website or social media links, then I can definitely do something like that for you and I can help you. By the way, where are you from? I see on your profile it says, the UK, right? Now that last part, right, where I'm saying, hey, I can see you from the UK, that's just to add a little bit extra personalization. And at this point, we're going to be screen recording over their job post, and you're going to be in the corner on Loom, like in the bottom left-hand corner. Okay, so again, you're going to say, hey, hope you're doing well. My name is Ryan, or your name, obviously. And then you're going to say, look, I really want to help you with this job, but there isn't enough context here for me to give you like an audit or more information. So if you wouldn't mind sending that to me, then I can basically do that for you and give you more context and help you, and then a little bit of personalization at the end, right? And the reason that we do this is a couple reasons. Number one, we just want to get them to respond, because a lot of people don't know this. When people message you back on Upwork, you get those connects back. So the money that you spend on Upwork to message clients, you actually get that back when they message you back. So a lot of the time, in terms of capital preservation and saving money on Upwork while also trying to land clients, we just want them to get us to message back, right? They're gonna, and it's an easy thing for them to do. They're just sending the link to their website or something like that, right? And then you can actually do them a full audit. Now the full audit is actually the second type of video, the videos that, or the jobs that have context, right? So I'll get into that now as to how you can do an audit, and I'll even show you an example of one that I sent to somebody and I closed them for $4,000 per month on Upwork. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the link for that video of me closing that person for $4,000 per month in the description below. Just a Loom video, right? It's not behind any paywall or anything, so you can just go and watch it. But basically, I did a full audit on their website. I broke down their website speed. I broke down their ads. I broke down their competitors, and I gave them this like beefy audit, right? And nobody's doing this. Like nobody, realistically speaking, is putting this much personalization into their videos and into their proposals to clients, and it just massively stands out. But even if we do an amazing video, we still need to stand out in terms of how we package the messaging on Upwork. So that's what we're going to get into now. So look, now we know how to make these great looms. We know how to make them for ones that have context, the ones that don't have context, and we know what to say. But how can we optimize this so that we can stand out even more in comparison to the other people that may be sending looms, or just in general, how can we make it stand out so it looks even more professional? So I'm going to break it down into a few simple steps, but basically the first one is personalizing the link and the title. So Loom will allow you to change the title before you send it on Upwork. Just change the title. So you can say, for example, you find their name, you can put the name as the first word in the title. That's going to stand out to them. But let's say they're in the real estate niche, we're going to put the words in the link of the title of the Loom video, right? It's going to come across much better. And then also we can use tools like Rebrandly to actually change the actual way the link looks. So instead of it coming up as www.loom.com/ a bunch of letters, we can actually make it come like ryanramshaw.com/ Upwork proposal, right? That looks way more professional, and they can see my name is Ryan Ramshaw. This person's obviously taking this seriously, right? So we can change the title, and we can also change the link address and how the URL actually looks. The second thing is, how do we actually send the Loom with the rest of the copy, like the rest of the meat of the proposal? So what's funny is I've seen a lot of people make really good Loom videos, and I actually recently had somebody apply to one of my jobs with a Loom video, but they put a massive amount of messages that was like ChatGPT before then, like a bunch of paragraphs. So I never even noticed originally that there was a Loom video in there. So what we want to do is we just want to say, hey, client name, if we know the client's name, or just hey, if we don't know their name. I made you a personalized proposal. A personalized Loom video actually is better. Check it out. And then just put the link underneath. And then after that, say something like, hey, looking forward to hearing back from you. And then underneath that, put P.S. and then say something personalized. Oh, where are you from, by the way? Oh, are you let's say they say they're from the UK. Oh, are you from Leicester? I'm from Leicester, Say something personalized so that it shows some personalization, right? Instead of just putting a bunch of messages and a bunch of words around it that kind of hide the fact, because the main meat and potatoes of the proposal is the loom. So don't lose that by just putting a bunch of ChatGPT around it. It's one of the biggest mistakes that I see with loom videos. So just make sure not to do that. And the third thing is tracking and frequency. Now, the best part is anytime somebody watches your loom, you should get an email from Loom that says that somebody has watched it. So you should be tracking that. And Loom also has a dashboard that you can use to basically track all of the views that you're getting on your looms. And now in terms of frequency, I would urge you to send 10 of these a day to different jobs on Upwork. That's what works well for me. That's what works well for my students. And just in general, that's just like kind of the industry standard. It just works best. If you want to do less, you can do 5. And I would urge you to do a few practice ones before you start sending out 10 every single day, because ultimately, you know, you're gonna probably make some mistakes in the beginning, so you don't want to rush it. So look, if you're watching this video, you should now have full context on how to do these Loom videos, the different types, and also kind of the nitty-gritty things to do after to make it even more personalized. And if you find this video helpful, I would appreciate if you leave a comment. And if you think I missed anything, just drop a comment and I'll actually message you back. I usually message every single person back in the comment section. So just hit me up. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.